William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, seized the English throne in 1066. This monumental event was the culmination of years of planning, ambition, and military prowess. William, known for his strategic mind and unyielding determination, had long set his sights on the English crown. His victory at the Battle of Hastings marked a turning point in English history. The battle, fought on October 14, 1066, was a brutal and decisive conflict that saw the defeat of King Harold II and the end of Anglo-Saxon rule. The Norman forces, well-trained and heavily armed, showcased their superior tactics and discipline. William, a ruthless and ambitious ruler, faced resistance from the Anglo-Saxon population. The initial years of his reign were marked by numerous uprisings and rebellions, as the Anglo-Saxons struggled to retain their autonomy and way of life. William's response was swift and often brutal, employing a combination of military force and strategic alliances to quell dissent. He needed to consolidate his power and maintain control over his newly acquired kingdom. To achieve this, William implemented a series of administrative reforms, including the introduction of the feudal system, which redistributed land to his loyal Norman followers. This not only secured their support, but also weakened the power of the Anglo-Saxon nobility. The 8 PM curfew was one of the tools he used to achieve this. Instituted to maintain order and prevent unrest, the curfew required all inhabitants to extinguish their fires and remain indoors after the bell rang. This measure was particularly effective in urban areas, where the risk of rebellion and disorder was highest. William's reign saw the introduction of Norman laws, customs, and language to England. The Normans brought with them a new legal framework, which included the establishment of royal courts and the codification of laws. This legal transformation was accompanied by the construction of imposing castles and fortifications, symbols of Norman authority and control. The Norman conquest had a profound and lasting impact on English society, shaping its political, social, and cultural landscape for centuries to come. The fusion of Norman and Anglo-Saxon cultures led to significant changes in art, architecture, and language, laying the foundation for the development of the English nation. The 8 PM curfew, while seemingly insignificant, offers a fascinating glimpse into the challenges and complexities of William's rule. It highlights the lengths to which he went to secure his kingdom and the enduring legacy of his reign. Through measures like the curfew, William the Conqueror left an indelible mark on the history of England, a testament to his enduring influence and the transformative power of the Norman conquest. The 8 PM curfew, also known as the couvre-feu, French for cover fire, was implemented shortly after William's victory at Hastings. This curfew was not just a simple rule, but a strategic move by William to consolidate his power and control over the newly conquered lands. By enforcing this curfew, William aimed to prevent any form of dissent or rebellion from brewing among the local populace. Its primary purpose was to prevent gatherings that could potentially lead to rebellion or unrest. Large groups of people could easily turn into a mob, and William was keenly aware of the power of collective action. By limiting the time people could spend together, he effectively reduced the chances of any organized resistance. Under the curfew, all fires had to be extinguished by 8 PM, effectively plunging the kingdom into darkness after sunset. This not only made it difficult for people to gather, but also made it challenging for them to move around at night. The darkness served as a natural deterrent against any nocturnal activities that could threaten the peace. This measure served a practical purpose as well. By ensuring that fires were put out, the risk of accidental fires spreading through the wooden structures of medieval towns was significantly reduced. This was a crucial safety measure in an era where firefighting resources were limited. With no street lighting, darkness provided cover for criminal activity. Thieves and bandits could easily exploit the cover of night to carry out their nefarious deeds. The curfew, therefore, acted as a preventive measure against crime, making it harder for criminals to operate under the cloak of darkness. The curfew aimed to reduce crime and maintain order in a society still reeling from the conquest. The presence of guards patrolling the streets ensured that the curfew was enforced and any violators were swiftly dealt with. This helped to instill a sense of discipline and order among the people. However, the curfew's impact extended far beyond its practical applications, carrying significant symbolic weight. It was a constant reminder of William's authority and the new order he had established. The curfew symbolized the control and power of the ruling class over the common people, reinforcing the social hierarchy that William sought to maintain. For the Anglo-Saxon population, the 8 p.m. curfew represented a dramatic shift in their way of life. Before the conquest, communities enjoyed relative freedom of movement and assembly. The curfew imposed restrictions on their daily routines, limiting social interactions and economic activity after dark. Imagine the challenges of completing daily tasks before nightfall, especially during the shorter days of winter. The curfew forced people to adapt, altering their work patterns and social habits. The sound of the curfew bell became a stark reminder of Norman authority, shaping the rhythms of daily life under William's rule. The 8 p.m. curfew served as a powerful symbol of Norman control over the conquered English population. The extinguishing of fires represented the suppression of Anglo-Saxon life and traditions. The enforced darkness symbolized the shroud of Norman rule that now enveloped England. The curfew's psychological impact should not be underestimated. It served as a constant reminder of Norman dominance, reinforcing the power dynamics between the conquerors and the conquered. The silence that descended upon the land each night spoke volumes about the new order that had been imposed. Section 5. Curfews then and now. A historical comparison. Curfews, while often associated with medieval times, are not a relic of the past. They continue to be implemented in various forms across the globe, often in response to specific events or circumstances. Modern curfews, however, differ significantly from their medieval counterparts in their implementation and enforcement. Today, curfews are typically enforced by law enforcement agencies with penalties for violations. Technology plays a role in monitoring and enforcing curfews, with surveillance systems and communication networks aiding in their implementation. While the methods may have changed, the underlying tension between safety and control remains a constant theme. Section 6. Safety or control. A delicate balance. The 8 p.m. curfew, like many laws throughout history, raises questions about the balance between safety and control. While presented as a measure to maintain order and prevent unrest, it also served as a tool of oppression, limiting personal freedoms and reinforcing Norman dominance. This tension between security and liberty is a recurring theme in human history. Governments often face the challenge of balancing the need to protect their citizens with the preservation of individual rights. The 8 p.m. curfew serves as a historical case study, prompting us to consider the trade-offs inherent in such measures. Section 7. The legacy of the curfew, a lasting impact. While the 8 p.m. curfew was eventually relaxed, its legacy continued to resonate in English society. This curfew, initially imposed to maintain order and security, became a symbol of the monarch's control over daily life. It was not just a simple regulation, but a reflection of the broader societal structure and the relationship between the ruler and the ruled. It contributed to the development of a more authoritarian system of government where the monarch wielded significant power over the lives of their subjects. The curfew was a tool that allowed the king to enforce his will, ensuring that the populace adhered to his rules and regulations. This centralization of power was a stepping stone towards the establishment of a more structured and hierarchical society. The curfew also had a lasting impact on English common law. It influenced the way laws were written and enforced, embedding the concept of regulated time into the legal framework. This regulation of time was crucial in the development of a more organized and predictable legal system, which in turn contributed to the stability and growth of medieval English society. The concept of curfew became ingrained in legal language, evolving over time to encompass a range of restrictions on movement and assembly. This evolution reflected the changing needs and priorities of society, as well as the ongoing efforts of the authorities to maintain control and order. The curfew was not just a relic of the past, but a living concept that adapted to the times. The 8 p.m. curfew, although seemingly a minor detail in the grand scheme of history, left an enduring mark on English law and governance. It served as a reminder of the power dynamics at play and the ways in which the authorities sought to regulate and control the lives of the people. The legacy of the curfew is a testament to the lasting impact of seemingly small regulations on the broader tapestry of history. Section 8. Challenging historical narratives. It's important to note that historical accounts, particularly those from the medieval period, should be approached with a critical eye. The 8 p.m. curfew, often presented as a universally hated imposition, may have been perceived differently by different segments of society. Some historians argue that the curfew, while undoubtedly restrictive, may have also provided a sense of security in the aftermath of the conquest. The absence of nighttime activity, while limiting social interactions, may have also reduced the fear of crime and violence. Exploring these alternative perspectives encourages a more nuanced understanding of the past. Section 9. Conclusion: A glimpse into the past. William the Conqueror's 8 p.m. curfew offers a fascinating glimpse into the social, political, and cultural landscape of 11th century England. It highlights the challenges of consolidating power, maintaining order, and shaping a new social order in the aftermath of conquest. The curfew's legacy extends beyond its immediate impact, influencing the development of English law, governance, and social norms. By exploring this seemingly insignificant historical detail, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the past and the enduring tension between safety, control, and individual liberty.